Hello, MCU fans. Today we're going to take a look at all the big reveals from the brand new Captain America 4 trailer. This thing looks awesome. Lots to discuss, so let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Don't forget, we have a July contest running all month long. Be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook. Best of luck. And we have a membership option with lots of cool perks, so make sure to check that out in case you might be interested. Okay, so CinemaCon attendees got an early viewing of this trailer that we now finally get to see, and for the most part, it's the same trailer. However, there were reports of a very key line that wasn't, for some reason, in the trailer, and that was when Ross is talking to Sam, he says, "What you did down in Mexico really opened my eyes. I want Captain America to rebuild the Avengers." So I want to kick off this video with this quote because I think this is one of the reasons I'm most excited about this movie. I want to know what on earth is going on with the Avengers. I mean, since Endgame, we haven't seen the team once, not even once. So let's look at all the references to the Avengers we've had since Endgame. In April of 2024, in Shang-Chi, the Avengers are meeting informally via Zoom, right? We have Bruce Banner saying, "Welcome to the circus." In July of 2024, the public is very curious about the Avengers, and Talos doesn't even know what to say. Everyone keeps asking where the Avengers are, and I don't know what to say to that. So no one has a clue what the Avengers are doing. October 2024, they're still discussing new leadership in the Eternals movie. They say Captain Rogers is gone, Iron Man is gone. Who do you think is going to lead the Avengers? So no one is leading the team at this point. Now, December 2024, we got the Yay Rah Rogers musical. That was awesome. April of 2025, She-Hulk discusses joining the Avengers. Her friend says, you could be an Avenger. And then the media reports, is it true that you were rejected by the Avengers? Too funny. April of 2025, Scott Lang releases his book, which talks, of course, about Endgame and how the Avengers saved the universe. So very cool. And then we see in May of 2025, the news ticker saying he's still going on a tour about that very book. September 2025, the Fallen Avengers are honored at Avengers Con in the Miss Marvel series. Now we move to July of 2026. Scott's doing book readings, so people still really want to know, what happened, and they're so excited about what the Avengers did, but not what they're currently doing. And then all the way in November of 2026, in Secret Invasion, the Skrull Council does not believe the Avengers exist, because they say, and what happens if the Avengers return? So we're in November 2026, and the Avengers don't basically even exist. Crazy. And then, of course, in the Marvels, Kamala, who is a big Avengers stan, thinks maybe this is a test for joining the Avengers. Okay, so now you see why I think it's so important that Ross seemingly is telling Sam, we need to start up the Avengers. So I'm going to talk about where I think this line fits as we get to the actual trailer finally. All right, so in the trailer, and I'm going to try to put stuff in as much chronological order as I can. It's kind of hard with these trailers, but I'm going to do my best. All right, so we see Sam meeting with Ross at the White House. I love the political elements of this movie. It's going to be really good. Here we see Sam obviously getting a lot of attention. The media is taking pictures of him as he's walking into this meeting. And notice what he's wearing. This is how it kind of helps us put a bunch of these scenes together. All right, so here is Ross talking to Sam saying, "Wilson, thanks for coming in." Sam says, "Well, thank you for the invite, sir." And then we get this fun little meta reference. He says, "I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look." And of course, that's referring to the fact that R.I.P. William Hurt passed away. He was a great actor. Did a great job as Ross. But now Harrison Ford's taking over the role. Not the first time this has happened, right? It's happened many times. These are three of the most famous examples of someone taking over a role that someone else left for whatever reason. But also, we learned something very interesting. Ross was newly elected. Okay, so they said, lose the mustache or lose the election. Okay, so here we see him walking out, and seemingly this is maybe either like a campaign rally, like where he's running for election, or maybe this is when he's accepting the nomination, or maybe this is even when his acceptance speech for winning. We're not real sure of the context, but here we see him giving his speech. So I wasn't sure then, does that mean he's truly newly elected, or is he still running? Well, Marvel answers the question for us, because in an article they published, like yesterday, they say, Sam comes face-to-face with the newly elected U.S. President, Thaddeus Ross. Okay, newly elected? Then that means whatever year this movie is taking place, it would probably be in the springtime, because he just got elected. Okay, what year, though? That is the question. What year is this thing happening? Well, we do learn from Secret Invasion that Ritson was in his first term and probably his last term because he made that terrible edict about killing all the Skrulls, right? Because Fury says to him, that's a real one-term president stuff. Okay, so that means it appears there wasn't a transfer of power. I did a video about all the different presidents, and I kind of was trying to guess how we shift from Ritson to Ross. I wonder if maybe Ritson was killed or impeached or stepped down. No, it seems like Ross just ran for election. Okay, so how does this all work? So we do know, and again, you can check my president's video out if you want. We know that Trump was president because he's referenced several times in especially the Netflix shows. So let's just say he had his 4 years. No clue if Biden won after him, but let's just put Biden in for the minute. Then we have Ritson with his first term. Do you realize that that means this movie with Ross being newly elected would have to take place in 2029? 2029. Really? Really? There's no way, right? That can't be right. So I threw out some questions when I did my president video. Was maybe Trump blipped? That'd be crazy, right? Was Biden even president? Who knows? They've given us no evidence on that. But did maybe the blip move the election cycle? Because you can imagine everybody comes back in 2023, October, and a new president's been elected while they were all gone. Right? Well, you would go nuts. I mean, there's no way our country, the U.S., who makes such a big deal out of the president elections and voting, maybe they re-voted. So maybe Ritson's term isn't 2025 to 2028. Maybe it was totally changed around, and therefore Ross might be running earlier than 2028 and becoming elected in 2029. Let me know your thoughts, but something's got to work here because we have the street level and political timelines. And in particular, the street level, that's your Daredevil, Spider-Man, Echo, Kingpin, etc. Can't wait for those. And notice everything in yellow, those are official dates. We know those are the dates. Everything in red is my guesses as to when they're going to occur. Well, look at the political timeline. We already talked about the fact that Secret Invasion was in November of 2026. I just kind of assume Brave New World would therefore be early 2027 and not 2029. And then, of course, we have I hope, still Ironheart and Armor Wars, which deals with the fallout from Tony Stark's technology. But yeah, this is the gap that I want to really see. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me know your thoughts on how on earth they're going to work this out. But, all right, so then, I love this from Ross, quite an understatement when he says, you and I haven't always agreed in the past. Yeah, pretty much that's true because you threw Sam in jail after Civil War, rather. So, yeah, Sam would have very good reason to not trust you. Then he says, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position. Now, I think this is also the place where he's discussing, and I want you to start up the Avengers. It just kind of makes sense that would all be in this same place. But here's the thing. The last time Captain America was part of the military, that didn't go so well. That didn't go so well. And in fact, John Walker is going to be showing up in Thunderbolts, so we'll see what he's been up to. So then Sam, just like Steve Rogers would ask, says, and if we disagree on how to manage the situation, then what happens? Great question. But Ross just simply says, work with me, Sam. Work with me. You can see that look in Sam's eyes like, I don't know about this, man. But notice, he's still got the same suit on. We're going to see then he walks out and seemingly takes this picture with, I believe, a Japanese delegate. We're going to see that the U.S. and Japan seem to be working together. Well, that is until they're not. We'll get to that in a minute. But nice picture time there. Then off to a Global Unity Summit, which you can barely read there. This shot was never in focus in the trailer, unfortunately. But yeah, Global Unity Summit. And we have three of returning figures here. On the left is Isaiah Bradley. We'll see him more in a minute. In the middle, of course, is Sam. And then on the right is Torres. So we'll discuss all of them in detail in just a second. But there have been some theories that this person taking pictures is maybe not supposed to be there, snuck his way into the White House because that hand looks kind of green. Now, I'll discuss fully who this may or may not be later when we get to the villains, but I just can't imagine it's who is being rumored because why would he be in the White House taking pictures? But hey, who knows? You never know. Kind of keep this in mind that this may actually be the first appearance of one of our main villains. All right, so Ross is now unveiling his plans, I'm assuming for the Brave New World, right? He's plotting there. We see Sam sitting down. Thaddeus Ross says, we'll show the world a better way forward. And then this is interesting. There's a map being projected of the world being projected on the wall there, or on glass, actually. And notice there's symbols on several of the different countries. The one that's highlighted there kind of looks like a Captain America shield, and the other ones look like just little circle dots. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're trying to indicate here, but again, this might be his plan for the Brave New World. And then now, as I mentioned earlier, there's Sam wearing the same outfit. I think all these scenes go together. Torres and Isaiah Bradley. So let's talk briefly about Torres. You might remember him from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. When Falcon's Falcon suit got so messed up, he gave it over to Torres, and Torres is all happy, but you can see Sam just was sick of it because it was destroyed, basically. And Torres is like, hey, you forgot your wings. And Sam's like, keep them. Just keep them. So that was the big hint that Torres was going to come back as the Falcon, which we'll see him later in the trailer. And, of course, Isaiah Bradley also had a fantastic story arc in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm so happy to see him again. Very, very cool character. But I'm not sure he's glad to be back because, notice, he stands up, seems to be triggered a la Winter Soldier type situation. And look at his face there. You can tell that he is not in control of, he's just like a zombie, basically, acting out commands. So grabs this Secret Service agent, twists his hand, grabs his gun, chucks the dude across the room, and Sam shouts out, no, stop, Isaiah, stop. But Isaiah draws his gun and shoots the glass. That's pretty cool. And definitely is shooting at Ross, it seems. Now, I don't know how Ross didn't get killed, though. So maybe he wasn't aiming at Ross. We'll have to wait and see, because that's Ross ducking down. And we will see that Ross is alive later. But yeah, so he's going after somebody. And then also we see Sam fighting apparently another Secret Service agent, but maybe he was triggered as well. Seems like maybe several people got triggered by something. And then, man, it's really getting serious now. These guys are booking in there with guns. Yikes. And then Isaiah says, nope, I'm exiting stage left, takes off out the window. Now, did he get killed in this event? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm kind of hoping he didn't. That would be sad for him to come back and get killed. But anyway, he takes off. And then now we head down to the safe room. Notice Sam is still wearing his same clothes, and they've ushered Ross down here, who doesn't really look like he was shot. So I'm assuming he's fine. And then Sam says, your inner circle has been compromised. Now then, this shot, I do not think is happening, obviously, during that scene, but the audio, they played over it. He says, either you can't see that or you don't want to. But I do think this shot is interesting because it's showing spyware. You know, I'm assuming those are spying on other countries. And notice the red tint underneath it, hinting at another one of our villains. We have a red villain and a green villain coming up. So Ross says, you may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers, which that's really rude. And Sam, as the statesman that he is, says, you're right, I'm not. But I want to see the rest of this dialogue because I don't think it's going to go well. I think Sam is ticked. Anyway, so now I mentioned, did Isaiah get shot and killed? I sure hope not, but there is a funeral. So leave your guesses for who you think this funeral is for. It could be for Ritson. Maybe Ritson died. It could be for Isaiah. It could even be for Captain America. Wouldn't it be interesting if Steve Rogers, old man Steve, finally got an official funeral? So leave your thoughts. Who do you think died here? Now, I am a little worried by these guys doing the gun salute, and that those guns don't seem pointed very high in the air. So I don't know if there's going to be a tussle even at the funeral. I kind of hope not. But we do know that returning, because Marvel has made it official, Liv Tyler is coming back as Betty Ross. Cannot wait to see her. These are set photos. But yeah, Marvel has made it official. She's coming back. And then interestingly, this other set photo on the right, you see Sam with what appears to be a broken arm. So maybe something happened during that fight at the White House versus Isaiah Bradley and others. And then the lady to his left, we're going to talk more about her in a minute, but she does show up in the trailer. So I'm kind of hoping we get a gravestone with an official year. Wouldn't that be nice? Just make it really clear when this movie is happening. All right, so I'm betting this is not a fun press conference. Not sure if this is after that battle at the White House. Could be, but it seems a lot of people are very interested in what he has to say. And then, is this the same event? I hope not, because those guys are guns a-blazing. I mean, the White House is a mess right now. There is battles left and right at the White House. All right, so then now let's look at some of Sam's appearances in costume. So it does appear that he does some fighting in his Falcon and the Winter Soldier costume. Notice he's wearing white on the top there. Here's another shot. You can see this is the costume that I think he starts the movie out in. And maybe this is Mexico. Because remember in those lines that only showed up in CinemaCon, Ross mentioned, I like what you did down in Mexico. So that's what could be happening here. then I don't know what's going on here. That doesn't look good. I'm pretty sure it's still at the White House area, because these are like the trees that we see in the White House scenes continuously. But now Sam has on his new outfit, picks up his shield. I really like this new outfit. I didn't really like the one in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that well. It was okay, but I like this one better. Let me know your thoughts. Which outfit do you like better of his? But he's holding off something. It looks like shrapnel hitting his shield. So a little hard to tell what's going on there. I love this shot of him standing in the way of a fighter jet, just standing down like, hey, take me. So that's going to be a cool fight if he really battles that thing. Here we see him walking around in the outfit. Again, I really like it. A very battle-worthy outfit of his. So then we see some investigative work that Sam and Torres are doing, because I think all these scenes connect together. Torres says, what if it's a trap? We see them getting out of a car together. Sam is in his civilian clothes, but he has the shield. That's going to come in handy. They head down this long hallway and head into this mysterious room, and yikes, does this look like something out of a Frankenstein movie, right? This chair. Here's a wider shot. This may well be where they were programming Isaiah Bradley and maybe programming some of those Secret Service agents. But definitely a fight goes down while they're in this room. Thank goodness he brought the shield, right? That comes in handy. And then here we see him fighting in the hallway. Those are some of the dudes he's knocked out. So big time battle going on here. But what is this lab? What's going on here? Well, I think this is going to finally follow up on the plot thread from She-Hulk. Do you remember our buddy Josh that shot up She-Hulk while she was asleep? And you can see he's texting the Hulk King, and he's saying basically, I got some of her blood, and we're going to use it for your Hulk formulas, to turn someone into the Hulk. So I think this is going to finally tell us what happened with this blood. Now, I will say, some people have been confused when She-Hulk rewrote the ending of her show. Remember, she rewrote the end of her show? Well, the timeline book is very clear on what she rewrote. This is so funny. So the timeline book tells us what originally happened. The Intelligencia humiliate Jennifer Walters when she's accepting an award at the big gala. Remember, that was episode 8. And then it goes into episode 9. So She-Hulk X's that out and then rewrites in the timeline book what she wanted to have happen. But here's the key. She only rewrote the very ending of the show. She rewrote that crazy awards gala where everything went nuts, and she rewrote everything with the Hulk King. She did not rewrite Josh taking her blood. That still happened in continuity. And of course it happened, right? She was knocked out. She didn't know. You can't fourth wall break something you didn't even know happened. So my point is, that blood is still out there. I think they're going to resolve it. I think that blood was given to this guy. I think he's really the Hulk King they were referencing. He's the one who's the head of the Intelligencia. So who is this? Well, the closed captioning totally tells us it's Samuel Stearns. Samuel Stearns, a.k.a. the leader. He says, global power is shifting, and you're just a pawn. So I love the fact that, Incredible Hulk movie came out in 2008, and we are finally getting a resolution to what happened to this guy. So on the left is a set photo showing us, that he's back, but the trailer makes it official. So remember, in The Incredible Hulk, some of the blood fell on him, and his brain started to get big, and we realized, he's going to become the leader from the comics. Well, other than the fact that we never saw it happen for years. It's been years since this. So I really want them to fill in the gap. What has happened to the leader over all this time? Now, there's a comic, back when they did the comics that tied in with the movies, Fury's Big Week, and notice on the right, they explain something we didn't see in the Incredible Hulk movie, which is that the Black Widow comes in, shoots him in the leg, and takes him into S.H.I.E.L.D., where presumably he was incarcerated for years. Then maybe during the Hydra, when Hydra came out in The Winter Soldier, he was able to escape, maybe? But here's the thing. I want to know. These are some theories, but I want to know, is this comic still canon? Did Black Widow really capture him? And how did he get away to become, the head of the Intelligencia? So let me know your thoughts, but I think that's going to be great to see him again. All right, so battle on the water. A lot of these scenes deal with a big fight. So we have this aircraft carrier there with a bunch of jets sitting on it. Inside, I believe, are two of our characters. The lady on the left is the one that I mentioned we would talk about in a moment. So here she is again. I think she looks like a member of the Dora Milaje, to be honest, working for the government. And on the right is another mystery character. So we'll talk about her. So both of them, here's a shot of them coming out of a door, I believe, and there's fire from the aircraft carrier getting shot. Who are these people? Well, Marvel tells us. So they tell us that number one, we have, I hope I'm saying her name right, Shira Haas. She's joining as Ruth Bat-Seraph. We're going to talk more about her in a second. But Marvel is telling us that she is a Black Widow. She's now a high-ranking U.S. government official who has the trust of Ross. So she used to be a Black Widow agent, and now she's working for the government. That is very, very different than the way she is in the comics, but I'm kind of glad they changed her, maybe in some of the reshoots. They did it. So we also get the official mention of Giancarlo Esposito. Love that dude. We'll talk more about him in a minute. And then Liv Tyler, remember, coming back as Betty Ross. And then I know I'm going to butcher this name, but Zosha Rockmore, that is the lady that I was saying kind of looks like the Dora Milaje, but notice they tell us nothing about her. It's a mystery role. Okay, so let's talk just a little bit more briefly about this Ruth Bat-Seraph. So in the comics, she plays the character Sabra. And Sabra is a very politically charged character. You can see this first comic that she appeared in there, Power and Peril in the Promised Land. I mean, you can already guess that, yeah, this is a character that Marvel probably wishes they hadn't put in the movie, especially with all the things going on in the Middle East. So I'm going to guess she's been changed dramatically. I'm betting she won't even ever put on this costume. She will never be called Sabra, and she's going to end up being just that Black Widow agent. But let me know your thoughts. But I am really hoping they move away from this storyline. So then, a little bit more about this battle that's going on the sea. It's between the U.S. Fifth Fleet and JPN, which is Japan. So why are they fighting each other? Remember, we saw earlier in the movie, they were taking pictures together, Ross and Sam and that Japanese delegate, and now suddenly they're fighting each other? What is going on? In fact, here we see some missiles launching, but the missiles are not the key thing to notice here. Notice in the background, we see something really big, and here's another shot of it as the missiles are firing in the air. I am pretty sure, and a lot of people are pretty sure, that that is Tiamut. We are finally going to see what is going on with Tiamut. I mean, we got that reference in the She-Hulk series. Why is there a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean? That doesn't count. That was funny, but we need to know what is going on with Tiamut. Well, if we look to Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie, we learn that the severed head of an ancient celestial being, remember that's Nowhere, where the Collector was hanging out, that Celestials are very, very valuable. So, in this case, they're mining the organic matter within the skull and the brain, the bones, the spinal fluid. They're all very rare resources, highly valued in black markets across the galaxy. So we definitely learn that the consistency of a celestial is very, very valuable. Now throw in the fact that Circe transmuted him from his natural form into something else. You can see the bottom half is what she's changing him into, and the top half is his fingertips that haven't been changed yet. So what did she change him into? I mean, he was already really valuable to begin with, his spinal tissue, etc. Now his entire body seems to be really valuable. I think what's going on is he was converted to some metal. I mean, adamantium makes a lot of sense, but there's all kinds of metals. And we're seeing countries fighting over it because he's in international waters. So while Japan and the U.S. seem to be friends at first, I don't think they're friends anymore. Because now, here again, we see Captain America, flying through the air, and behind him is Tiamut. That's part of Tiamut's hand. And these Japanese jets do not look like this is very friendly. I mean, Sam just literally crushes the wing off that plane. I mean, what on earth? That is, this is a very tense moment between everybody, obviously. So here we see Captain America and Falcon together. They look great. He's got a shield on his back. I love it. Here he seems to go supersonic, I guess. There's lots of capabilities of this new suit. But yeah, clearly Japan and the U.S. are fighting over Tiamut Island. And then we move on to Giancarlo Esposito. Oh my goodness, dude is so awesome. He just radiates cool, man. So his character is not explained in the trailer, nor has Marvel released the name of his character. If you want to go and look at different rumors and leaks out there on who people are saying he is, you can do so. But what we do know from Giancarlo is he's not going to only be in this movie. He said he's also going to be in an upcoming series. So that was officially released. Everything else is rumors and leaks, and I stay away from those. But yeah, boy, does he ever look so cool. Cannot wait to see him in action. He blows up this vehicle because you can see him standing there as the vehicle blows up in the background. It's just so freaking cool, man. And then I don't know if he blew this one up, but I'm going to give him credit for it because, he's just awesome. So then we got this scene. I'm honestly not sure what this fight is. Let me know if you have any thoughts on it. We see dudes running in the foreground, but in the background, we see a bunch of people shooting. and picking them off. So maybe this is in Washington, maybe this is somewhere else. Anyway, let me know your thoughts if you have anything on this. This one too. What's going on here? I love the visuals. It looks really cool, but I have no clue who's fighting who. Probably Sam versus somebody. But anyway, let me know if you have any thoughts on that one. Then we have White House Down. What is going on here, right? Destroying the White House. Probably we can all guess, right? It's probably this dude. Can you believe they gave us our Red Hulk sighting in the trailer? He looks really cool. Look at that gray hair, a little tinge of gray hair, which goes perfectly with Harrison Ford. And then he slams the shield down. I don't know how Sam's going to get it out of the ground, man. That looks like that ain't coming up no matter what you try. But yeah, man, Red Hulk is going to be so cool. So yeah, I think that the leader uses the blood that we saw in She-Hulk to somehow create Red Hulk. And then this is interesting. Here's that character that they're saying is an ex-Black Widow, and that arm in front of her, that kind of looks like a Hulk arm. So maybe she's working with Red Hulk? Oh my, wild. That's going to be really interesting. I mean, it said that she's very trusted by President Ross. So, that lots to learn about her character for sure. But one of the reasons I'm just so excited about this movie is it is going to tie together so many loose plot points from across the MCU that we've been waiting to get answered. So remember, I do this video every year about open questions. Look at all the open questions this movie is going to answer. What happened to Samuel Stearns? We're going to learn that. What happened to Betty Ross? What happened to Torres? We're going to see him now as the new Falcon. Are we going to see Sharon Carter showing up as the power broker? I think we will. I bet she's working with the leader. Maybe Captain America? Maybe that was his funeral? I bet we get some reference, at least to him. We're going to learn what happened at Ritzen's edict. In fact, we'll probably learn what happened to Ritzen. We're going to see what happened with the She-Hulk blood. We're going to see the new Avengers, or the forming, I should say, of a new Avengers team. And we're going to see finally what happened to Tiamut Island. Oh my word, this movie is so important to the MCU. Cannot wait for it to bring all these storylines together and give us a fantastic, fantastic movie. So let me know your thoughts, but I am very, very excited. So 2025 is going to start off with a high note. Man, Red Hulk and Captain America, February 2025. Love it. So don't forget, July contest, be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook. And there's that membership option in case you might be interested in it. And of course, we have the Discord. I love to bring up the Discord. Over 1,500 members across the globe, conversations 24/7, and we would like you to be part of them. I will leave a pinned comment so you can join us. Here we are talking about the brand new trailer, picking apart every single scene. I love it. Also, if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, ever-changing Marvel Cinematic Universe.